really the only thing that matters is publishing a game to Sandbox alpha seasons because it has the most number of players. The top 10 experiences from season 3, they received about 250,000 plays each. So that's a lot of players in a 1 to 2 month period because outside of alpha season, the numbers are much lower because the Sandbox is technically not live yet. So we're going to talk about the criteria for creating a great alpha season game so that it could be published. So one, I think it needs a compelling storyline because the storyline provides the why for the players, why they should care. So the game designer, like the more game designers can create an emotional response in the player, the better. The storyline, it provides the motivation for the players to find out what happens next. Is there a main character? Is there a conflict that the character is trying to resolve? And having a great storyline lends itself really well for a game to last 30 to 40 minutes. So some of the really good storylines that I personally enjoy, are from the StarCraft series, particularly the first one. So you have some of the really memorable characters such as Raynor, Kerrigan, right? The conflict, it's this intergalactic war between the three races, the Terran, Zergs, and the Protoss. Another game that I think has great storyline is pretty much any of the Assassin's Creed games. I like it because it uses history, and history is just a great way to create a compelling storyline. And then in mobile, I think one of the games that has great storylines is Monument Valley. It's one of my favorite single player games, and the storyline is a loose plot about a princess who is on a journey of forgiveness. And each time you complete a set of puzzles, you learn more about the story. Okay, the second thing I think is great visuals, like great voxel assets and the world design. And more importantly, how does the world design align with the brand or the product or the company or the game that they're trying to create? And since the art style of the Sandbox is voxels, I think a really good way to draw inspiration from is from Minecraft because of the voxel similarities. And because there are just so many things players have created using Minecraft. So in one of our game experiences, the brand is about candy. So the world that we created, it needs to be very colorful. And the last thing I think to make a great Sandbox game is a fun game mechanic. So let me give an example. So Candy Crush, the game mechanic there is matching candies. It's a match 3 game. It's made more fun because of all the sounds and all the on-screen graphical effects. Those things enhance the game mechanic. Now, what if the candies you're matching wasn't very colorful? Really, it was just one color, right? And you're just matching the shape of the candy, and there's no sound effects. That would make the game mechanic not as fun. So, all like the visuals, they add a lot to the game mechanic. Archero, another mobile game actually, the mechanic is about just shooting enemies by default, and then you move. It's a very, very satisfying game mechanic. In the game that we're creating for the Sandbox in a future alpha season, Royalty, the game mechanic is you're trying to solve puzzles using specific timing, memorization, logic. Now, I think that you have a fun game mechanic, if you feel it's delightful. And one of the best ways I like to find good game mechanics is to just play mobile games. They're almost always free, and you can get a pretty good idea of what the game is about in the first couple of minutes. Okay, so the following are 3 ways to measure effectiveness of a game experience in the Sandbox. So for this, we're only talking about game experiences for alpha season, because during alpha season, that's when we get the most number of players. Because